As the UCAT testing day approaches, let's go through 10 easy things you can do to make sure you're fully prepared before you sit your exam. And this is all about preparation, getting the right mindset, getting the right conditions to make sure that all your practice pays off. Because there's people who score 200 higher than their Metafine mid-entry scores on exam day, and there's people that score 200 lower. And so doing these things will maximize the chance that you can overperform when it comes to your final exam. And that's the best feeling in the world. So basic things. Make sure on the official UCAT Consortium website, there's 4 exams, A, B, C, D. Make sure you've done all of those. They are, if anything, the best hint of what the actual exam is going to be like in terms of the software, in terms of the questions, etc. Often people find the actual exam website a bit laggy on the official question banks, but no one's had any significant issues in the actual exam when I've spoken to them. So bear in mind, the actual consortium mock exams ABCD can be a bit laggy, but that's generally not the case on the official exam. Try not to do all your mocks in your study space at home. Try and do at least one mock in a different setting where there's other people nearby or it's in a public place. So whether that be a library, a mock testing center, or with friends somewhere, just anything that's not in your normal place of study. And that will just help build the confidence that you can sit the exam in the presence of other distractors and in an unfamiliar setting. Ideally, you don't make the actual test day the first time you sit a mock outside your own study space. Even if it's a different room in your house, that's going to be better, but ideally with other people around would be best. Then practical things, practice with a keyboard with a number pad. You should be well used to using a mouse, using Alt-N, and basically the number pad is that on a larger keyboard, you have all the digits and the symbols in one place in the bottom right of your keyboard. So then you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, plus, minus, times, divide, all with one hand. That's going to not seem like something significant, but in quantitative, that'll save you a lot of time because you shouldn't have to mouse click the calculator at all. So make sure you at least practice a couple of times when you have a full keyboard with a number pad, because that's what you're going to have in the actual exam. If you're going to use earplugs, remember, headphones are often not allowed at lots of testing centers. So read through what the exam conditions allow, whether you're allowed food, water, which you're generally not, headphones generally not. But if you're going to use earplugs, which are small foam things that you press into your ear, make sure you're practicing at least once, one full exam with those. Then basics, try and get to finish all the questions in each section and make sure your timing is reliable. Aim to finish at least 30 to 60 seconds before the time ends in every section. And if you can't get to that stage, then when there's 30 to 60 seconds left, make sure you're answering everything and putting a consistent letter for each particular answer. Then true false can't tell questions are often easier than reading comprehension questions in verbal reasoning. So make sure you're aiming for at least 3 out of 4 on those sets. And if not, try and work out the exact reasons why, because knowing the key definitions and where you get wrong between true, false, and can't tell is an easy thing to improve on a short deadline. For decision making, you want to be getting most of the short single questions, the non-yes, no ones, correct and in a fast time. So ideally, you're getting at least 4 out of 5 on the arguments, Venn diagrams, and probability, ideally going for 100%. Yes, there's occasionally a hard question or a 50-50 in these areas, which is why I've got it at least 80%. Then quantitative reasoning, the goal is to minimize and eliminate silly mistakes, reading errors, unit errors, basic things that you feel like you should be able to get if you had more time. And you want to think why those occur. Were you rushing the question? Did you not understand something? Is there something that you forgot about because there was a few steps beforehand? What can you do differently? For myself, I will always do the unit conversions at the start, my very first step, because I know if I'm going to do other things and then getting lost in using the calculator, I can easily forget about those unit conversions down the line. So you might consider restructuring your order based on the type of mistakes that you make. And finally, it's the amount of full mocks that you do. Now, you should have done all those 4 UCAT official mocks, but really, you don't want to do too many as well. So I think somewhere between 10 to 20 mocks is the sweet spot for most people. Once you're pushing more than 20 mocks, I think most people won't actually see their score improving. By all means, though, if your score is improving with each mock, then keep doing what you're doing. But for most people, I'd say aiming between 10 and 20 mocks is a pretty reasonable effort. Not every day, but I'd say trying to do a mock every second day, and then in between trying to do mini mocks or the equivalent of full practice sets on the calculator. not on the calculator, on Notify or mid-entry. The reason I prefer these mini mocks and full practice sets is I think it's easier to review things straight after, and you don't have to review, 150 questions at once. It just breaks it down and makes it a bit easier to say, I did this wrong. I want to try this next time. Or this was my initial goal. I want to work on this next time. Whereas sometimes with a full mock, you're so tired after it. There's so many questions. You might review it, 2 hours or later or the next day, and it's not as quality practice and because you can't remember exactly what you were thinking or why you went wrong in that question. If you want more advice, click the link in the description. And if you'd like this as a PDF that you can then check off yourself, all you need to do is click the link in the description and I'll happily send it through to you. All the best for your exam. It's a very hard test, but you'll feel great once you're done with it. And then you can actually concentrate on that final push before you finish for this year. Thanks very much, guys. I'll see you in the link in the description.